This is level 3 of the shoulder stability videos. You'll need a theraband, a light circle band, and some dumbbells. Let's start out with grabbing our theraband, keeping your arms straight, squeezing your shoulders back and down as we pull the band to our chest with straight arms. Make sure you're keeping the shoulders low and using your lats to squeeze down rather than shrugging through the traps. Let's do about 5 more reps here. We're going to do a couple rounds of these first few exercises, just really trying to warm up the shoulders. So next we're going to move on to elbow flares, standing tall, bringing your hands up to your temples. You're going to squeeze your elbows back, then relax them to the front. Let's repeat this a few times, trying to wake up those muscles in your upper back, undo any of that posture from sitting. Great, last one here, and then we're going to go back to our pull-aparts. So grabbing your theraband, a little bit of tension on the band, dropping your shoulders and squeezing down. If you're having trouble keeping your traps off through this movement, try starting with the band at the front a little higher so the band is up in front of your eyes. So you're actually squeezing the band downward to get it to hit your chest. Great, back to elbow flares here again, hands nice and high, squeezing back with the elbows, trying to get everything super active between the shoulder blades. Great, we're going to do one more round of those two, back to the pull-aparts one more time. Making sure as we go here that we're keeping an eye on our posture. We're not arching from the low back or pressing our ribs up into the air. We're keeping a neutral spine. Our rib cage shouldn't change shape during this movement. Great, last time back to those elbow flares. Squeezing back, then relaxing to the front, trying to get lots of movement in the shoulder blade. All right, as you finish these up, we're going to grab a pair of light dumbbells. And standing tall with shoulders back and down, we're going to maintain this posture as we raise both weights out to our sides to shoulder height. Focus on maintaining tension through the back as you come up and down here. Making sure that this movement is not coming from a shrug. Our deltoids are doing the work here. Perfect. Let's set those weights aside for a second. Grabbing your circle band, putting it around your wrists. We're going to move over to the wall. If you don't have a circle band, you can do wall slides instead. I'll put a separate video. And with your band, slowly climbing the wall with your hands, keeping tension in your back. Focusing on keeping your shoulder blades back and down. Maintaining that tension as you walk slowly up the wall. The more tension on the band, the harder it's going to be. Nice. Last time, slowly walking up the wall, trying to keep your elbows narrow, trying to keep your wrists wide. Perfect. Let's put the band down. We're going to go back to our lateral raise. Big shoulder roll back to get set up, then squeezing through the shoulder blades so as you pull the weights up. Awesome. As we get to about 10 reps again, we're going to go back to the wall walks or wall slides. Band around your wrists and slowly walking up the wall, maintaining that tension in your upper back. Again, if you don't have a band, you can just do wall slides, same position in the upper back, slowly sliding your hands up and down the wall, trying to maintain that tension, trying not to shrug. All right, last couple reps here. Okay, let's set the band aside and grab a pair of dumbbells. Hinging at the hips with a flat back, we're going to maintain this position as we pull both weights straight backwards, making sure you're keeping your core braced. If you've got any low back issues right now, I'd recommend doing this one side at a time, supporting your weight on a piece of furniture. That's just going to allow us to take a little bit of the load off of our back muscles. If you are splitting it up, you can do the other hand when we return to this exercise. Bringing our dumbbells up to shoulder height, we're going to go into a squat and press the dumbbells at the top. Again, if we've got issues with squats at the moment, you can go for a standing shoulder press instead. Nice. We'll do 10 full reps here. Moving towards more coordinated athletic movements like this, regardless of what we're trying to get back to, is helpful in using our hip and shoulder mobility together, teaching our body to coordinate, requiring coordination across multiple joints. And let's go back to our bent over rows. Either doing both arms together from a hinged position or finishing off your set with that second arm on the supported bent over row. Perfect. We're moving back to squat press for a second set. Weights are at your shoulders, sitting hips back, squeezing through the glutes to stand tall and pressing the weights as straight up as you can. So trying to make sure that we're not pushing the weights forward. That's going to make them feel a lot heavier and it's going to put excessive strain on our low back. We're pressing them straight up and making sure that the weights come all the way back down to our shoulders before we start our squat. Nice, last rep here, and we're going to make our way down to all fours when you're finished. We're going to do some Bearcrawl Holds, pressing the floor away, making sure that our shoulders are directly over our wrists, our hips are stacked over our knees, and we're pressing the floor away to lift our knees off the ground and hold. Trying to keep the floor pressed away. We're not sagging between the shoulder blades. We're not allowing our head to drift towards the floor. Couple more deep breaths here. All right, taking your feet out behind you super wide. We're going to start in a high plank position. Narrow hands, wide feet. Bracing through your core and glutes, we're going to slowly lift one hand and hold it off the floor. And come back down opposite hand. Nothing else moves other than the arm, creating lots of tension in your core and glutes. We're just going to do one more per side here. Deep breaths. Excellent. Come on back down. Those are meant to be very challenging. We're going to come back to our hands and knees. We're going to do another Bearcrawl hold, 20 seconds. Making sure our joints are fully stacked. Lots of control through the core as we lift our knees back up for our second hold. Tucking your chin back away from the floor, pressing the floor away with your hands and making sure that your knees are still quite close to the floor. We're not drifting up towards hips in the air. Nice. Come back down and rest here. Great job. Okay, moving your feet back out for a second set of the hand lifts. The narrower your feet are, the more challenging this is going to be, so you can adjust appropriately. And we're aiming for 6 total reps, 3 per side, alternating. Taking your time here. If this is feeling good, see if you can hold the top position for longer. All right, and last set of the Bearcrawl holds for today. Nice, bracing as we lift, keeping your knees nice and close. Deep breaths through the whole movement. Last few seconds here. Excellent, and coming back down. We have one last exercise for today. We're going back to those hand lifts one last time. Feet are nice and wide if you're getting tired. Core and glutes are on 100% for each rep. Slow and careful movements to level this up. We're holding the top position for longer. Focus on control and movement integrity here. We don't need to rush these. As you finish out your set here, that'll be the end for our workout today. Great job, guys.